Hi, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, and I'm just getting by. So most of you know, yesterday I had to make that tough decision to put down my childhood dog, the last one of my childhood, I should say, Molly. She was 11 and a half years old, and she just got too sick to the point where at that point, you don't want them to suffer, so, you have to make that tough decision. And it hurts because, in 2019, we lost Leia, our pug, who was 12, and she was really the first dog we had for a long period of time through my childhood into my adulthood. We had gotten her when I was 9, and she lived until I was 21. And then a year later, 2 days after my birthday, our dog Han, who is actually the father of Molly, after I think it was 10 years with him, we had to make that decision to put him down because he got deathly sick. He was almost a skeleton at that point in time, and all that was left was Molly. And Han wasn't much older than Molly, so we kind of thought, if she makes it to 10, that will be great. But come February, she would have made it to 12, and I think just the realization is setting in that she's the last dog that has really grown up with me. We got her February of 2012. I was 13 going on 14, finishing up my time in middle school, getting ready to be a freshman in high school, and it just, and now being 25 years old, just to know that she was here that long, it hurts even more. I mean, it always hurts when you have to make that decision on a pet like that, but for ones that have been there since, you were practically a kid and they were technically, a kid themselves when you talk about in like animal perspective, and then you both just kind of grow up together. They just it's one of those things where she wasn't just my best friend, she was like, part of the family. Everyone loved her. She loved everybody. She was so good with kids. You can just have her around anybody and she would get along. She wasn't going to get aggressive, she wasn't going to get rough because that wasn't her thing. But the one thing you'll know, the thing with boxers, because it was kind of the same thing with Han, was when they get older, they get these lumps, and at first they start out just benign, they're just there, but as they get older, they just kind of start to pile up to a point where it's just mere impossible to even, think about removing them all, because when you remove some, there's just going to be more that pop up. And now with Han, it wasn't as egregious, but like I said, it just got to a point where he was just almost a skeleton. He couldn't stand up, and he was peeing uncontrollably, and that's when we knew we had to make that decision. We probably should have made it on my birthday, but my parents weren't gonna, make me make that decision on my birthday, so we waited a couple of days just to kind of see, and then we knew it got bad. And with Molly, I know I updated you guys a couple weeks ago. We had taken her to the vet because things had gotten bad, but since she was all cheery in herself, the doctor kind of wanted to just make her as comfortable as possible, and kind of get her to just live as long as she could. And I mean, at this point, when we were looking at it, the, I guess you can call them tumors, were everywhere. They would just break open and bleed, and they stank. Basically, the best way I can describe it is it was almost like her flesh was rotting while she was still alive. That's basically what that stuff does, because I mean, it does stink, and you gotta wash things constantly. And it was getting to a point where she also couldn't hold in her bladder as much, and I would wake up and there would be pee stains and whatnot. And obviously I wouldn't get mad at her. I mean, at this point, it's not her fault. I know she knows better, but she's just super, super sick. It's like when, people get older, they have that problem too. And, I just, seeing her deteriorate, she was eating and she was starting to become skin and bones herself. and she was having trouble just kind of standing a lot. I mean, she could stand, but not for long periods of time. And when it came to walking up and down stairs, that was a burden for her. And she was basically just laying down every day. And I guess that was her way of saying, like, hey, I'm in pain. I don't know if I can do this anymore. And that was kind of where we were at yesterday. Me and my dad had let her out. She had trouble walking down the stairs. We got her down the stairs, and she had trouble going to the bathroom because, like I said, those tumors were everywhere. So it was kind of hindering that, and it was just like, that was it. And obviously, some people say, oh, you take the death of your animals too hard, but the fact that she's the last one from my childhood that we've had around for so long, it's like I can never experience that feeling again of being a kid and having a animal grow up with me. I mean, we still have a dog. We have Hazel, our Boston. She's 4 years old, and hopefully, with her being a smaller dog, she can, live pretty long. But, we got her when I was 20 going on 21 probably. I might have been 21 already. Yeah, I was 21 already because it was like a month after Leia passed away, our pug. And, she's just in good spirits. I think Boston Terriers act more like cats because she doesn't really like to be pet unless she's, going to sleep. And she's just irritating at some points. But, we love her because that's just, what it is. We took her in, and now we're taking care of her. So, the future of, are we going to get another dog? Probably. Me and my dad always like to have a bigger dog around, so we aren't sure what breed, even though me and him both want a pit bull. It's just going to kind of come down to what do we want, because we can get another boxer. Basically, outside of Hazel, who's the Boston, and Leia, who's the pug, we've had all boxers throughout my lifetime. But it's like, do we want to go through the same thing for a third time that we went through with Han and Molly, where it just these things pop up and they just become uncontrollable? Like, literally, only thing you can do is get rid of them, but they come back and you can't really do anything about it. I mean, the only thing we could do around that time was have Molly on a medication that would kind of just I guess one, it made her drowsy, and two, it would just kind of ease the pain a little bit, because there's not like anything you could put on those things that could calm them down or stop the bleeding. It's just something that she and we had to deal with, and once it started getting really, really bad, that was when we knew, because obviously I feel like when you realize stuff like that with your pets is going on, that's when you realize, I gotta make this decision now, because if there's one thing I don't like, it's like seeing an animal suffer. I'd rather them go out with, even though, going out with the shot at the vet is not necessarily, something that seems great. It's more just like, she gets to be with her family in the end, and it takes care of her, and it calms her, and that's the best thing. So, yeah, I'm just trying not to, cry, because I don't like doing that on camera, really. So, just trying my best. But the video will still be out Halloween. Still plan on doing that. Still plan on filming that soon. And after that, obviously, like I mentioned, we'll continue kind of taking that break as I start to work on the year-end list. And then that should wrap up 2023 for me. But for now, we'll have plenty galore in 2024. Did not mean for that to rhyme, but yeah, just stay safe out there, and tell your loved ones you love them, because you probably never know when their time's going to come, and you may never get to say that to them again. But yeah, catch you in the next one.